Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're just going to do a run through of basically a wheel alignment on our Hunter Hawkeye machine, and just basically walk you through what we're doing, why we're doing it, and the importance of good wheel alignment and geometry setup. Okay, so after checking the vehicle over, visual inspection to make sure everything's okay to put it on the alignment rack, we're just going to go ahead. We're going to do the tyre pressures. We're going to make sure that they are at the correct specification. One of the reasons, obviously, it can affect the alignment, and two is making sure that they're right so it doesn't cause any uneven wear to the tyres down the line. Okay, so we're just going to load the individual heads onto each wheel, each corner of the vehicle. That'll allow the machine to see the targets on the head and be able to work out the positioning of the wheel. So we're just going to input the vehicle details into the computer. Make sure the right base factory settings are in there and available. Having inspected the tyre, we are just going to go ahead and do the tyre depth. So this little dongle allows us to check the tyre depths, and it also inputs it wirelessly to the computer. Just going to install the brake pedal depress. This just allows the vehicle to obviously stay stationary when we make any adjustments on the actual plates. We're just unpinning the plates. This just allows any adjustments that we make can be made freely without any sort of resistance. Now we're just going to level the steering wheel out. This little spirit level on top just helps us obviously get it sort of dead center. Like most people, you don't want to be driving down the street with a steering wheel that's off. So this helps obviously get that bang on line, and then any adjustments that are made, it should hold the steering wheel in place with this lockout tool. So basically, this is obviously where the car's sitting right now. You've got your camber and your toe. This is the rear of the vehicle. The spec, obviously dead center here, is where the factory spec is where we really want you to have that at the end of the alignment. With the adjustment that's on the vehicle, it'll only adjust so far. Sometimes they won't go all the way into the spec, sometimes they will. But what we'll do is we'll walk through this particular one on the T6 and we'll show you the adjustment points. There are other sort of components available. If you can't quite get the angles that you're looking for, then you can look at putting sort of camber and toe bushes in on the rear. That'll just give you that little bit of extra adjustment. The T6 and the T5s only have a toe adjuster on the rear. I believe PowerFlex do sort of a camber adjustable bush for the rear as well, but at the moment obviously this doesn't have that, so we're only going to be able to alter the toe on the rear of this vehicle. So like the rear of the T6, the front, the only adjustment on the front is with the toe, so we're just going to make that adjustment right now. Okay, so it's like 30 degrees in this workshop at the moment, so you know it's super hot. That's why I'm dripping with sweat at the moment, just doing a simple alignment. So yeah, basically importance of an alignment, having the vehicle to, you know, either manufacturer specifications or having a setup that, you know, you want for track. I mean, one of the main reasons is the handling. Obviously the vehicle will handle, you know, as it was intended, or, you know, as you want it to, you know, if you having a track set up there. You know, when we talk about the toe, we talk toe in is obviously the angle. So, well, toe is the angle of the wheels. Sort of, if we're in a, you know, horizontal position, you know, the wheels angling in. So obviously toe in, the wheels angling out is toe out. What this can do, this can cause, you know, if you've got excessive toe in, excessive toe out, it can cause you to wear your tyres on the inside edges and the outside edges. So, you know, premature wear to the tyres, you know, you might have, you know, 4 or 5 mils still left on your tyre, but it's completely balled down to the cords on one of the inside or the outside edges, just solely due to poor alignment. Again, when we talk about camber, we're talking about sort of the vertical position of the wheel. So you're going to have your camber, obviously negative camber is in at the top and positive camber is out at the top, in at the bottom. This again can cause wear on the inside edges, the outside edges of the wheel. Obviously premature wear due to, you know, poorly aligned vehicles. When we talk about the casters, not many vehicles have that adjustment, but you know, they're talking about the vertical position, you know, of the wheel as it sort of angles out that way. Not many vehicles have the ability to adjust that, but again, there's plenty of aftermarket parts out there. Tend to be used more by people, you know, who are tracking vehicles or have lowered the vehicle that extensively, I don't know if that's a word, but you know, that dramatically, we'll use that, that the vehicle, you know, adjustments on the vehicle are just not able to bring, you know, into a decent spec where it's just not going to wear tyres out. So, you know, that's where these bushes and things really come into their own for those people who are looking to, you know, seriously modify the vehicles. But if you have any sort of suspension work or, you know, anything that is messed with on the suspension that can cause, you know, the alignment to be out, you really need to be looking at getting the vehicle aligned properly. Okay, so if you can just see the screen now, you can see obviously the measurements before to after. You're not going to see much difference in the camber. It's quite a bit of negative camber on the front right. It's just a tiny little bit out of manufacturer's spec on there. There's nearly, you know, twice as much negative camber on the right hand side, but we're unable to adjust that without you know, any bushes in there. There's a couple of reasons that can cause that. You know, something could actually just be, you know, mildly bent or out of line. If we look to the rear of the vehicle again, both rear cambers are in spec. The toes were out. The toes are out on the front, so you see obviously the measurements afterwards. We've got you know, the front left camber is still in. Front right's exactly where it was, because, you know, there's no adjustability on that. There's no adjustability on the caster. They're just mildly out of, you know, manufacturer spec on that one. We have the toe, which is, you know, bang on manufacturer spec on that. Left and right rear cambers are in spec, but obviously no adjustability on those. And then we've got the toe on the rear that's in spec as well. Okay guys, as well as you know, trying to bring you content you know, that's super cool, some really fast cars out there, we want to, you know, try and keep it real of what, you know, some of the other things we do at Awesome, you know, some of the tools that we have that sets us aside from, you know, most other garages, and some of the people that we have here that set us aside and, you know, that make us awesome, so to speak. Now, what we're going to do is bring you some sort of rundowns of the sort of services we offer, some of the special tooling we have that we can, you know, offer to customers and people sort of in the trade as well. And we would like to also bring you some DIY videos, so, you know, for the different products and, you know, different things, Haldexes and bits and bobs that people might want to do on the driveways. We can give you some sort of walkthrough videos to coming forward as well. Thanks for you know, joining us for this one.